The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. The pendulum of the mind alternates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. Your visions will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Loneliness does not come from having no people around, but from being unable to communicate the things that seem important to oneself, or from holding certain views which others find inadmissible. The most terrifying thing is to accept oneself completely. We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. In all chaos, there is a cosmos. In all disorder, a secret order. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. Where wisdom reigns, there is no conflict between thinking and feeling. The privilege of a lifetime is being who you truly are. Everything about other people that doesn't satisfy us helps us to better understand ourselves. There can be no transforming of darkness into light and of apathy into movement without emotion. We are not what happened to us. We are what we choose to become. Who has fully realized that history is not contained in thick books, but lives in our very blood? The greatest tragedy of the family is the unlived lives of the parents. What you resist persists. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life, and you will call it fate. The debt we owe to the play of imagination is incalculable. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. The reason for evil in the world is that people are not able to tell their stories. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. People will do anything, no matter how absurd, to avoid facing their own souls. We may think that we fully control ourselves. However, a friend can easily reveal something about us that we have absolutely no idea about. If you do not express your own original ideas, if you do not listen to your own being, you will have betrayed yourself. One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious. Man's task is to become conscious of the contents that press upward from the unconscious. There is no coming to consciousness without pain. Shame is a soul-eating emotion. The healthy man does not torture others. Generally, it is the tortured who turn into torturers. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, their love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. The possession of knowledge does not kill the sense of wonder and mystery. There is always more mystery. We don't see things as they are, we see things as we are. The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect, but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. The only normal people are the ones you don't know very well. Man needs difficulties. They are necessary for health. It all depends on how we look at things, and not on how things are in themselves. Thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol or morphine or idealism. We meet ourselves time and time again in 1,000 disguises on the path of life. Mistakes are, after all, the foundations of truth, and if a man does not know what a thing is, it is at least an increase in knowledge if he knows what it is not. The greatest burden a child must bear is the unlived life of its parents. Your perception will become clear only when you can look into your own soul. A dream is a small, hidden door in the deepest and most intimate sanctum of the soul. There is no such thing as a pure introvert or extrovert. Such a person would be in the lunatic asylum. Children are educated by what the grown-up is and not by his talk. If there is anything that we wish to change in the child, we should first examine it and see whether it is not something that could better be changed in ourselves. What did you do as a child that made the hours pass like minutes? Herein lies the key to your earthly pursuits. The least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. Dreams are the guiding words of the soul. Why should I henceforth not love my dreams and not make their riddling images into objects of my daily consideration? The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved, but only outgrown. It is a fact that cannot be denied. The wickedness of others becomes our own wickedness because it kindles something evil in our own hearts. The man who promises everything is sure to fulfill nothing, and everyone who promises too much is in danger of using evil means in order to carry out his promises and is already on the road to perdition. Man is not a machine that can be remodeled for quite other purposes as occasion demands, in the hope that it will go on functioning as regularly as before, but in a quite different way. He carries his whole history with him. In his very structure is written the history of mankind. Great talents are the most lovely and often the most dangerous fruits on the tree of humanity. They hang upon the most slender twigs that are easily snapped off. Like plants, so men also grow, some in the light, others in the shadows. There are many who need the shadows and not the light. Woe betide those who live by way of examples. Life is not with them. If you live according to an example, you thus live the life of that example. But who should live your own life if not yourself? So live yourselves. Every human life contains a potential. If that potential is not fulfilled, then that life was wasted. Don't hold on to someone who's leaving, otherwise you won't meet the one who's coming.